almost did it. I almost started without switching the cube. Good evening, Texas bikers and bikers all across the nation. This is Texas Biker Radio number 458. My name is Mel Popeye Moss.
OG.
Just OG.
And I was watching you.
Yeah. Good Lord. Good evening, everybody. Good evening. We'll give it a couple more seconds here to let some more people come in, and we see you guys on the chat line. And OG is going to be manning the keyboard, and I've got control of the mouse.
Fair enough.
Maybe that'll work. I don't know. Hey, I wanted to follow up with a few things from last night. We did the Waco 7 years later last night. I wanted to say a couple of things, and there were many other people that helped us along the way over that 4 years. Many other people. It's been a while, so there's no way I name them all, but to everybody out there that helped us along the way, thank you. Thank you. And in particular, when we went after Abel Reyna was Los Paradas MC. Now, those folks live there. They live in Waco. So they had to deal with all this crap all along the way. And but they were there for every event. They had our backs along with other people, and some we didn't even know about. But we want to say thank you. Our candidate, when we got ready to get rid of Abel Reyna, was Barry Johnson. And he brought it all to an end. 4 years into it, he brought it all to an end. He did what he said he would do. And that, let me tell you, that was incredible happenings. And let me say this. When Sergeant Swanton had his first interview, spinning false narratives, there was only one person that particular day, that was telling the truth. And it was a biker, Bandito Jimmy Gimme, the president, did an interview on channel, I think maybe channel 12 in Austin.
Yeah.
I think it was. And he set everything straight. He said, there's nobody coming to Waco. There's nobody coming to attack the police. There's nobody coming to attack the citizens. It took a biker to get out there and tell the truth. And for that, everybody should appreciate it. He was stepping up at that time. Absolutely incredible. Absolutely is. All the lies were being spun every which direction. There was a brief few minutes of truth. Absolute truth. And so, anyway. So, the whole thing, OG, Waco PD, and many others in law enforcement, and the prosecutor were working to send innocent people to prison for a very long time. And basically holding them hostage for 4 years. And that's the truth of it, everybody. They were willing to send innocent people to jail if they could. And it was it was our job, our job, not only as bikers but as Sons of Liberty Riders MC, and working to help people that are having their constitutional rights violated. It was our job to work to expose what was going on. And like I said, we had many people helping all along the way. And, even citizens of Waco were helping all along the way. Like I said, I appreciate every bit of it. Every bit of it. Man. Are you ready to get into it, OG?
Name the subject.
All right, the next one is Governor Abbott reports on May 17th there were no deaths attributed to the China virus in Texas. 0 for the first time since March of 2020.
Don't hear much about that in the media, do you?
No, you don't hear much about that. They don't want to report that.
Abbott is also forbidding the mandate of masks in schools now. He's not allowing the schools in Texas to demand the kids wear masks.
You need to get your kids out of those masks. They don't need to wear them. They have not needed to wear them. Follow the science. And the science since early on told us that children were going to be okay. They're not susceptible, especially babies.
Well, Rand Paul was on tonight, and it came up again with Fauci. Over his split-tongue version of the mask.
Yeah.
And, they asked a bunch of doctors, if you were going into a room to treat somebody with COVID, would you be wearing a mask made out of your T-shirt or underwear? And doctors would typically say, hell no, there is only one mask that will take care of an influenza particle, and that's at N85 or
N95.
95, right?
Yeah.
What did I say? 85?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm dyslexic.
Sometimes we do that.
That is the only mask that the medical profession uses when they're treating that kind of an illness, and you can't go in and see someone wearing one of these stupid masks that you see people wearing on the street and in the stores. Yeah. Particularly the ones made out of T-shirts and underwear.
Yeah.
They also reiterated over and over that masks serve absolutely no use even indoors.
Right.
Mainly because they don't stop crap.
Right.
They will not stop those particles. And then they did a couple of film clips on some of these idiot anchors, like on MSNBC, that talk about, well, there's one person on the team here that hasn't been vaccinated yet. The rest of us have been vaccinated, so I'm going to make sure I wear my mask. Mm-hmm. Well, what the hell does that say for getting vaccinated? The idiots don't even believe in the vaccination shot they got. So it just, the idiocy goes on and on and on. The only thing that's been really established here is masks don't work. They have had no part in stopping the pandemic. It's only herd immunity and people being a little more cautious about where they're at and, not trying to crowd around a bunch of people, washing their hands more frequently, being a little more careful. Even the stories you hear about people that have been vaccinated and get COVID immediately thereafter, well, they've proved more times than not that the vaccination had nothing to do with it. People get a vaccination, they tend to let their hair down or their guard down, and they don't watch what they're doing, and they expose themselves before the vaccine, let's hope it works, takes effect. Now, they're saying you have some kind of marginal protection on the 2-shot deal after you get your first shot. And then they're saying after you get your second shot, it's a full 2 weeks before you're considered fully vaccinated.
Yeah.
So, there you have it. The point being here, masks are worthless.
I'm going to do my best Biden I can do when he goes before the camera.
You got to squint. You're trying to find the...
Yeah, I'm trying to get in the mood right here.
Trying to find the teleprompter.
You people that don't get the vaccine, you're going to pay the price. Now, I don't know what kind of price you're going to pay, but I'm not going to give them a damn nickel. Just saying, everybody. And, of course, the media today is trying to give him cover for that. Well, he meant you're going to get sick and die. So, but I think he means he's going to make you pay in some way, politically, monetarily, some other bullshit like that is what he means. And, well, it's just out of control, and people are pushing back. They're pushing back. But, and the reason the title of our show tonight, Opting Out, is, I just wonder when people in the military, when they opt out because of all the woke crap going on and the diversity training, I just wonder when that's going to stop, because I served under LBJ, and he was a piece of crap too. But this guy right here, he's the new guy that's going to get out there and push all the woke stuff and the diversity training on all the troops. And there is a diversity czar I guess you'd call him, for the special forces. I just don't know how long they're going to put up with that kind of crap. I just don't, because our military, and the China recognized that all this crap that's going on around the world was making wussies out of their boys, out of their young men. And they're making moves to change it. They're making moves to change it in their military. But yet, we're headed toward I guess we're headed toward a wussy military. I don't know. But there was a young man on the let me see, he was with the Space Force. They fired him, and now he's out there speaking out. And man, let me tell you, I hope this is it. Let me switch the cube, and let's see what this is.
Tonight surrounding Air Force Commander Lieutenant Colonel Matthew Lohmeyer, who was removed from his post on Friday after he made explosive revelations about the increasing presence of Marxist and critical race theory ideologies inside the U.S. military. Comments he made on a recent podcast and in reference to his self-published book, Lohmeyer says he did consult with his superiors about how this critical race theory push was causing unnecessary divisions inside our armed forces, and says he also obtained counsel from a public affairs officer and base legal. So why fired? Why did this happen? Here to explain, author of the new book, Irresistible Revolution, Lieutenant Colonel Matthew Lohmeyer, who is now, by the way, speaking in his personal capacity, not his views. They don't necessarily reflect the official policy of the Department of Defense. Okay, tell us exactly what happened.
Sean, I appreciate you having me on the show. And in fact, that statement that you just read that came from Air Force Public Affairs, I included in the front of my book 3 times, once on the copyright page, once in the front matter, and again in the introduction to the book. What happened is I began noticing some time ago, and not just in the past few months, but over the past several years, an increasing relevance of what I saw was Marxist ideology parading around by other names. The Defense Secretary in February, I think it was February 5th of this year, called for an extremism down day and issued a guidance memorandum to all service members. And in the guidance memorandum, he basically gave an injunction to every service member to combat extremist ideologies within the force where they saw them, and to take it upon ourselves to protect one another and to speak up and educate one another about extremist ideologies when we discover them causing divisions within the force. And that's me paraphrasing the guidance memorandum, so I include that in the introduction to the book as well.
Okay, so you had recognized the narratives as being Marxist in nature, your words, not mine, and also you said it teaches intensive teaching that I heard at the base at a time the Constitution ratified the U.S., codified white supremacy as the law of the land. Are they not aware that we fought a civil war, that the 64, 65 Civil Rights Act, Voting Rights Act, that Joe Biden's friend, by the way, filibustered? Side note, while not perfect, we have made incredible strides, have incredible more to go towards a more perfect union. Is that not recognized at all?
I think it is recognized, and I think, you know, one of the things the Defense Department does very well is make it very clear that we've got zero tolerance for discrimination of any kind based on race, sex, politics, religion, etc.
But that's standard.
And so that's the standard, right? And so to that end, I've made that very clear to my own people, that in the light of a hyper-politicized environment that I've seen since taking command, and I'm no longer in command, I will not tolerate any discrimination of any kind based on politics, for example. And so let me give you one example of what I saw in the past 10 months when I was in command of a unit. There were videos being sent out to every base service member that we were asked to watch in preparation for our extremism down days and discussions on race, in which we were taught that the country was evil, that it was founded in 1619 and not 1776, and that whites are inherently evil. And so I speak up against those things in my book.
I would think in the military that you talk about a brotherhood and a bond that really is kind of unimaginable in real life, because you all have each other's back on the battlefield. Thank you for updating us. Appreciate it. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News.
Okay. It's quite interesting to see what is happening out there, and you know, it's out there for everybody to see what it is they're doing or trying to do. Even the 1619 project that they're trying to shove off on everybody, it's just an incredible move by people on the left, the progressives, or the socialists, or the communists. Whatever name you want to pick is going to work. So that's what I'm saying. But man, OG, moving on. We had a Michigan judge today throw a kink in the audit there in Michigan by saying he wasn't going to go any further because He said, well, there are problems. He admitted there are problems, but you need to fix this in the next election cycle. And what I'm saying to you is how the hell do we fix the next one if we can't fix this one? So everybody needs to be raising hell. All of us. All of us. It's the entire 2020 election needs to be audited. Every state. Every state. Because there are anomalies here in Texas also. Tarrant County, Dallas County, Collin County. The list runs on, and I'll bet you this crap happened almost nationwide in every state. Every state. Some of them were better organized than others. And that's the truth of it. And you know, let me say this, OG. Arizona, where they deleted the files off those Dominion machines, they found them. It's like they say, nothing is ever deleted when it comes to computers and the internet. It's still there, no matter what you do, unless you scrub the hard drive, or maybe like the famous Hillary, the spoliation queen, is what I would call her. Yeah, that's the new word, spoliation. And, take a hammer to it. Or maybe take a computer 25 miles out in the ocean and throw it in. But then again, if they did that in Arizona, everybody would be asking, where in the hell did they go? And what the hell have you got to hide? But the hand counting and the canvassing, it continues. It continues. And let me say this, they have found enough. They have found enough that people are going to be shocked if we get a chance to get it out there. Now, the mainstream media is fighting like cats. They're fighting like hell. I started to say cats, hell. Fighting like mad men, mad women, mad everybody, mad socialists, mad communists, whatever name you want to put on it. They're trying to make us think that none of these audits are worth a damn. Get over it, everybody. Get over it, is what they're saying. Nothing you can do now. It's already done. The deed's done. And that may be true to an extent. Hey, OG, Saturday Night Live, Elon Musk was there about a week ago, and he gave them a bump in their ratings. But this last weekend show was their lowest ratings since the 70s. Everybody's getting tired of this shit. Everybody, they're not funny. They're just a propaganda machine trying to be funny, and they're just not. And you know, OG, I never thought Chris Farley was funny. All the shit he did, the antics he would do, I never thought any of that was funny. It wasn't like the days back in the 70s when they had real comedy.
Well, that's when we knew how to make fun of each other.
That's true.
And fun of ourselves.
That's true.
Without being offended.
Yeah. It's crazy, everybody. Yeah, as I'm talking to Brain Damage on the chat line, he says Dominion still needs to give up the admin passwords to the machines. Yeah, they do. if not dominion, the people that are there. I guess the admin of the people in charge of the voting.
Well,
Maybe not.
there's admin passwords and there are backdoor passwords. And I'm pretty sure it would be interesting to find out where the hell that backdoor is and exactly what you can do when you get in through the back door.
You know, there are forensic auditors that can get in. There are. And let's hope they do. And they've got, from what I understand, they've got a lot of evidence. Just saying, everybody. OG, one thing we haven't touched on, and that's the Israel and Hamas. Hamas is firing thousands of missiles into Israel. You know, in the Iron Dome, it seems to be catching about 90% of them. The rest of them are either falling off into fields or vacant lots, and a couple of them get through. You know, but I watch that stuff for a while every night, and really, every time they show Gaza, the city of Gaza, and the city of Tel Aviv, there's not a lot of action there. Now this morning I did see them 3 rounds come in. Didn't knock any buildings down, but I figured they went after a car or something that somebody was in, and it was kind of interesting. But I didn't really see a lot of action by whatever the media is doing over there. But there are thousands of missiles being fired in there. But you know what, OG? The Israelis will call people that are in these buildings and tell them they're fixing to take it down. And they would call certain areas and tell them what they're fixing to do. Now, for the people that know what's coming, they need to be getting the hell out of Dodge. I can't imagine that they get a phone call that tells them to move on, get out of the way, and they ignore it. Matter of fact is, OG, I believe if I was in the target area, I would get the hell out of Dodge.
Well, yeah, what's really interesting here is, you know, you've got Iran, who is really behind all this.
Yep.
Feeding money and supplies to Hamas to try and bomb the crap out of Israel. They have openly said more than once, many times, they want to wipe Israel off the map. What's really interesting here is Israel is now striking back. They've got boots on the ground. Joe Biden is attempting to talk Israel into backing down. That's number one. Number two, every major news outlet is referring to the terrible losses on both sides. Now, what they're trying to make this appear like, it's some kind of regional dispute where you've got two entities going at each other, and that is not at all what is happening here. You have terrorist attacks happening to the citizens of Israel, being perpetrated by Hamas and Iran. And but once again, you've got the news media, and I'm talking the major outlets, are perpetrating this propaganda garbage that it's some kind of a dispute. And that, in my mind, is despicable.
Yeah.
And what Biden and his minions are trying to do to get Israel to back down or back off of what they're doing. I think at this point Israel needs to go in and do what the hell it needs to do to take care of the problem so they can sleep peacefully at night.
Right. I agree with that. You know, the mainstream media, you know, and like you said, they always go to the wherever the carnage is at. And really, I don't know how the on the border, I guess that's the Israeli police force. I don't know how they put up with those punks that are throwing rocks at them every day. Every day. You know, they're using those slings. And I don't know how they're putting up with that. You know what it reminds me of when I see that?
What's that?
Antifa.
True.
And the BLM. They're doing the same tactics.
Maybe that's where they learned it from.
One or the other could have been an exchange of ideas.
Now, my theory is, and this would count also for the U.S. border on Mexico, is you start aiming live rounds at the border.
Yeah.
Or you take out some of those punks that are tossing the rocks.
Yeah.
And put them down. That demonstrates consequences for a bad act. And I believe it would go away quickly.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you something, you have enough live rounds going at that border from the U.S. side, I believe they would stop streaming over the border.
Yeah.
Just that simple.
Yeah. So the mainstream media is calling for ceasefire. Need a ceasefire, need a ceasefire. Let them regroup. Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. Well, OG, we've got some bad news on the economy. And it's being reported that gas prices are going to continue to go up. And it's going to be a rough summer.
And that's purely by design.
Right. And so will everything else, everybody.
Just like lumber prices.
Yes.
I'll tell you what, I was at Lowe's today having to buy some lumber.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the sheet, I was looking at exterior 3/4-inch plywood. It was $62 a sheet for 4x8.
Right.
The guy that was helping me out said, you know what? Last summer, these sheets were selling for $17. Now, I also had to buy some 2x6 by 8 foot. Those are running right at $13 each. A summer ago, they were about $5 each.
Yeah.
Now, the story that's being laid on us is that once again, because of COVID, and everybody being restricted to home, that all of a sudden everyone has started remodeling and started buying up all the lumber.
Yeah.
What a bullshit story is that? You know, you would have every house on the block would have to be in some kind of construction stage to cause some kind of a shortage like that. You've got these companies that smell the blood in the water, and like sharks they attack, and just like gasoline, the prices get driven up artificially.
Yeah. Speaking of driving prices up and down, you know Elon Musk bought a boatload of Bitcoin. And Bitcoin prices went up. Well, now it's being announced he's fixing to sell Bitcoin.
Yeah, he knows. He knows what's happening because they got other coin they're selling now.
Right.
At a fraction of the cost.
Yeah, so that now that he's selling that, he'll drive the price down, and if he's, depending on what market he's buying it through, if you can short it, here you go, making money both ways. And he's got the money to make a lot of money by buying a lot of Bitcoin and then turning around and selling a lot of it, manipulating the market. But he's not the only one that does that. There's all of them. There's all these hedge funds. They do it all the time. And we're fools for if we're in the market. Now you can make money off of them, but it's if you can't afford to lose big time, you shouldn't be doing it. Shouldn't be doing it.
Yeah, I wouldn't put my mortgage money up for it.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. Wouldn't put my house up or any that kind of stuff. So, OG, the great utopia that the progressives are trying to do out there, and the deep state people, the ones that want to do the great reset, their utopia is failing. The China virus didn't get the job done. Everybody's either getting better, they're rejecting it, they're rejecting the mask. They wanted to keep it going as long as they could. They wanted people staying away from work, and I have a feeling that's going to turn around too, because these states are opting out of this extra $300. That's going to end soon. It's just, they need another crisis, OG. They're not going to give up. They're going to try again. They need another crisis. I mean, if you're awake, you know this is going to happen. And you know what I mean by awake and alert. You know this is going to happen. They're not going to quit trying. So therefore, we can't quit trying either. These audits, everything else that's going on, the rejection of the mask, the protests, every bit of that's got to keep going.
And the states have wised up. You've got states now, and the number is growing, that are forcing people to go back to work.
Right.
They've taken away the government benefit on unemployment, and these people have to go back to work.
Yeah, and they're going to, the ones that are on it are going to have to start going out there and really looking for a job.
That's right.
And go to the interviews.
Now, all of them, it's reported there's a great number of them that are now going to their doctors trying to get a statement from the doctor that they can't physically go back to work.
OG, people were actually, listen to this, people were actually trying to get fired so they could get on unemployment. Trying to get fired. So many employers were fighting, trying not to fire people. They didn't want to fire them because then they have to pay their share. Let me say this, everybody. Let me say this. We've got to keep exposing them and exposing the truth. Now, the truth is hard to get out there. With all the lying going on, the truth is hard to get out there, and we're buried in a sea of censorship and everything else, and a lying bunch of son of a bitches in the media. And I say to you, you've got to turn that crap off. You've got to turn your local media off, and you've got to let their sponsors know you've tuned out. You've tuned out. It doesn't take that long for me because there's not much of that crap I watch. But, yeah, let me get over there.
Well, just to show you how much everything's going to hell, University of California now no longer requires SAT or ACT tests.
Yeah.
They go strictly by grade. Can you imagine?
Listen to this, everybody. The diplomas they're going to have in those particular colleges are are not going to be worth a damn. They're not going to be worth a damn.
Well, that's only the beginning.
Yeah.
You know other colleges will now follow suit.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah.
Now, of course, I think I've mentioned this before when we went to my daughter's graduation when she got her bachelor's degree. She's a teacher, and she has liberal leanings, let me tell you.
Yeah.
I have to watch my conversations with her. As a matter of fact, she told her boyfriend, if you want to know what my dad's all about, just watch Texas Biker Radio.
Yeah.
So I guess he did. At any rate, you go to a college graduation now, I would defy you, absolutely defy you, when you look at the program, to try and figure out what the hell some of those degrees are that these kids have earned, let alone what the hell kind of job do they expect to get with that degree and thousands of dollars in college loans.
Yeah. I know.
You know, I mean, it's ridiculous. The only shot anyone's got anymore of getting a decent paying job is to go to a tech school.
Mm-hmm.
Learn to weld, learn to take care of an air conditioner. You know, go to a tech school. Be a diesel mechanic.
They are begging for NC machine operators, begging for them.
Yeah.
It's incredible, everybody.
That's the last place I'd send my kid anymore is to college.
Yeah. Wow. Hey, OG, the New York Times admits the whole Steele dossier was a lie. They've admitted that it was a lie, the whole thing. So now they're getting around to just telling the truth.
They're trying to get subscribers back.
Yeah.
That's what
So
they're
they're
do.
losing big time.
Yeah. Anybody that would subscribe to a newspaper, either the physical paper or the digital, any news media,
Yeah,
should have their head examined.
that's right. And let's get around to Fauci and the CDC and all that crap, OG. And the CDC is now admitting that the mask was fake. It wasn't really working, just like OG was talking about a while ago. May 15th, people around the world united against COVID, or I say the China virus tyranny. Because that's what it's been for the past year. As we got one false narrative after the other from the CDC. They couldn't make up their mind of what it was going to be. The mainstream media admits COVID could have come from a lab. Really?
Has possibilities, I guess.
You think? when this virus did not spread to humans without help, and then it went human to human, and Dr. Fauci was involved in all of this crap, all of it. He needs to be investigated. They need to look everywhere, even every orifice he has. That's what I'm saying. I mean, so...
Well,
yeah.
I would say it would be interesting to look at his bank account and see where the hell his money is coming
You know what?
from.
That's truth. And let me say this. All this crap that's going on that they can't find, you know, and I bring this up time and time again, we paid $4 billion for this place that listens to all the conversations, all the emails, everything that goes on out there, your cell phones, your televisions, whatever else. They know. They know what went on. Yet they ended up being a part of it. And this includes our military. This includes our military, our woke military now. So we've got thousands of people that are in on this crap. That are in on it. Because they know. So I understand Twitter is heading to court. They're going to bring them in. They're going to be talking to them about the things they've been doing and the censorship they've been doing. It seems like they don't follow their own guidelines. And so there are people out there, politicians, judges, and everything else that are taking them to task.
Tell you, I would really like to see Facebook taken to task.
I think if one falls, they will all fall.
Yeah, Facebook is doing something that is really weird.
Yeah.
You know, some people just blatantly get kicked off. However, there's a army of people out there.
Yeah.
That all of a sudden they had to log back into their Facebook account. And the only way they could log in was to prove who they said they were by sending credentials, driver's license, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And then the message they get once you send all that in is, due to the COVID-19 virus, we are understaffed and it will take longer to review your information than usual.
Right.
Now, interestingly enough, you would think, well, okay, that's cool. I ought to be good within 30 days.
Yeah.
Well, do you know when that happened to me? I'm talking last August.
Yeah.
I'm coming up on a year. I still get in my emails notification of stuff that's going on with my Facebook account. But if I try to log in, that message pops up. If you look me up as an admin on some of the Facebook pages I'm on, it says that my account is not available. They've never said I'm kicked off. They're saying they're reviewing my credentials. They've done that to a multitude of people out there, so they can't say they've been kicked off.
Right. Right. I'm surprised I haven't been kicked off, OT.
Well, I know.
The stuff I throw out there.
You are a megaton worse than me.
Well, I keep reminding them that it's poor business practice. Facebook, YouTube, I do not use Twitter. But I remind them all the time that they are driving paying customers away. If they want anybody to buy that cheap shit they sell from China, they can't keep running them off. And let me tell you, guys like Salty Cracker and a bunch of the others that have hundreds of thousands of listeners, when they move, their followers move with them. If they go to Rumble, guess what? All of a sudden they've got 9,000, 10,000, 20,000, 100,000. They're on that page and they're making their day, man.
Yep.
For Rumble. Meanwhile, they use YouTube as just a way to advertise where they're at.
Yep.
They may say a little something and then they move on. Doug to Naples, name another one. And some of the others have gone crazy trying to sell either Bitcoin or silver. Now I understand silver. I do not understand Bitcoin. There's no way I'm going to do that. I don't really understand.
It's really complicated. It's just digital money.
Yeah.
That's the best way you can describe it.
I understand a silver dollar. And I got a bunch of them. Not here, but I got a bunch of them. That's the way I don't want you coming to my house. There's nothing here. except for me, and I'm dangerous.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but let me see. Yippin' Yahoo, I guess that is. Is that what that is?
Yeah.
Anyway, he says, where was that lab? I think it's called Wahoo or Yahoo or something like that. Wuhan.
Wuhan, China.
Yeah.
In Wuhan, China, next to the open air market.
Hey, and what I heard today, OG, and lastly, what I heard today is they have found a new video that shows the Capitol Hill police letting people into the Capitol building.
That was on TV tonight.
Yeah. So they've got this new video out there. I do have the audio. I could not find the video, but there's going to be a kind of a blank screen. I'm going to play it for you, and hopefully you can hear it. It's not too echoey or whatever else.
Also, did you know the FBI has posted on Twitter FBI Most Wanted, and they've got a multitude of photos of people they're looking for who were in D.C. on January 6th, looking for any possible information.
So are they offering a reward?
Well, so far as I know, they're just looking for information.
Yeah.
So they can garner more political prisoners. That poor guy in the Viking suit is still in prison. Not just in prison, he is in the shoe.
Yeah.
Solitary confinement.
I wonder if he's got his horns with him.
Yeah. They probably took him away.
Yeah. So
also, they talked about the officer that supposedly was bludgeoned with a fire extinguisher.
Yeah.
They discovered he died from natural causes.
Exactly.
And the people they persecuted for supposedly killing him, they've ruined. It's just Waco on a federal level.
What they're going to do is they're going to try and gather as many people up as they can, whether they're guilty of any crimes or whatever. And you know, we all know there were places in that building where they were let into the building. Now, some people may have been fighting the police, and they shouldn't have been doing that. But there were others that were let in, absolutely let in. But I do believe that was by design in order to stop what was going on inside the Capitol building. And we all know what that was. Let me play this video, OG, or the audio of that video, and I'll try and keep our mics down or turn them off or whatever, so you can maybe hear it a little bit better. Here we go.
Listen up. The police here are willing to work with us and cooperate peacefully, like our First Amendment allows. Gather more Americans under the condition that they will come and gather peacefully to discuss what needs to be done to save our country. Remain calm. We're not going to show. We're going to be heard. Everybody, this must be peaceful.
This has to be peaceful. We have the right to peacefully assemble.
Okay. So, this guy, the main guy that was yelling there, and I hope you could hear that, he was saying that, they're saying we can come in, peacefully. Everybody be peaceful. Everybody be peaceful. And so that's what was going on there. And wow, really incredible. I'd like to see that video, what went on with it. I think I know which one it was, but I wasn't sure. But the one thing I did find, and let's hope this is going to be let's hope this is going to be good. Let me switch the cube, and here we go. Let me start this and see if it works.
For Americans who choose not to get the COVID-19 vaccine, he says, quote, they will end up paying the price, even as the CDC continues to face backlash over shifting guidelines for all Americans. And despite the good news, and I want to say it again, good news, they didn't lead with this. COVID-19 cases are now down in all 50 states. The president cautions that those numbers could tick up again. And he's already blaming states where Americans may choose not to get vaccinated. Watch.
If the unvaccinated get vaccinated, they will protect themselves and other unvaccinated people around them. If they do not, states with low vaccination rates may see those rates go up, may see this progress reversed. Ultimately, those who are not vaccinated will end up paying the price.
Meanwhile, the confusion over mask wearing.
We're going to pay a price.
Cities and business.
I don't know what that means, but I believe I know how I take it. Like I said, I'm not going to pay a nickel. And as far as my health goes, that's my responsibility. And most of you guys in our audience know what I've been through the past year. So, I can tell that guy to go to hell. And I will. I have no respect for him because he's all over the place. He's trying to destroy this country, in my view. And I think I've got millions of people that have that view too.
Absolutely.
So, OG, are we supposed to do...
It can wait till next week.
Okay. Boy, we're going to be in trouble. The troops out there, they're expecting a message and didn't get it.
They need to finish up.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. Well, they are still working on the last one. That was a tough one. But one of these days we'll tell you all about this. With that, everybody, if you don't have a motorcycle, buy one. Come ride with us. If you're in the DFW area, give us a buzz. We'll go have a burger and a beer. We found a new burger place. Man, it's good.
Yeah.
If I don't gain weight now, I don't know what. But everybody have a good evening.
Be safe.
Good rest of the week. It's raining here every day. We're sick of it. Bye-bye.